Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome back to Fully Alive again. I appreciate you guys being here. Today, I got a real good and interesting show for us. We're going to talk about emotional desolation. Emotional desolation occurs after narcissistic abuse, and it causes us to go into self-isolation. It's very important to understand this because what we are aware of, we are in control of. What we are unaware of is in control of us. So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.
What do you think is the narcissist's most lethal tool? For me, it would have to be emotional desolation. Emotional desolation and self-isolation go together like rice and beans, bacon and eggs, left and right. Where you find one, you will find the other. All of us at one point have experienced emotional desolation. That's what really narcissistic abuse is. This is their most sophisticated tool and strategy to cause harm and injury to us. It is the soul-crushing thing that destroys a child. It is the ultimate tool for creating narcissists. This strategy has a soul-crushing effect on children. It murders their soul. It destroys the essence of who they are. One or two things will occur when emotional desolation is done by a narcissist to a child. It will either create a narcissist or a codependent, but it will seriously harm the person that it's applied upon. This is one of their most sophisticated tools. This is their ultimate goal, is to decimate our emotions, to steal our identity, to go into our heads and control our thinking and our feelings. And they do this over time. This is also what creates their illusion that they are better than us, that they are some kind of almighty powerful people. The only way that they can do this is when you're not aware that they're a narcissist. If you're aware there's a narcissist, you can laugh while they're doing this, as long as you're cognizant. Children have no defense when a parent is doing this to them. It's insidious. It's invisible. No one can see it. And the way that we view our parents, this is a soul-crushing event. It destroys the child. It gives the parent the ability to mold the child to do anything that they want. It is creepy and it is freaky and it is very disturbing. They control the way that the child thinks and feels almost 100%. This is why children who are abused stay with the abused parent, because they are fused into one. It is fucking sickening. These people need to be in jail. I have witnessed this process with my own daughter. It almost killed me. These people are evil pieces of shit, and they do these kind of things to their own children. Where you see a kid that's isolated and full of anxiety, socially awkward, has multiple problems socially. There is a narcissist somewhere in their life. This is a cause and effect universe. People don't just get messed up. People don't just commit suicide. They have been abused like a little poison every day, a little gaslighting, a little emotional desolation each and every day. And it seeps in, and it's hard to detect. And again, that's what gives these sick people the illusion that they are somehow superior to us. It would be as if I walked up to the UFC champion of the world, the heavyweight champion, and hit him with a brass knuckle when he wasn't looking and knocked him out and then danced around that I'm the champ. I would not be the champion of the world. I would be a piece of shit that snuck up on a person and cold-cocked him, stole on him, rolled up on him. That doesn't make you powerful. Now, I don't want to digress too much. So what is the result of emotional desolation? Of course, it is self-isolation. We start to isolate ourselves because we have lost ourselves. And when we don't have self-actualization, we are naked in the world. It's like we don't have armor. Knowing who you are protects you. Having a solid sense of self creates self-worth, self-confidence, self-preservation. It gives you the ability to create boundaries. When you don't have a sense of self because a sick, evil parent murdered it, you feel awkward wherever you go. You feel like a misfit. You feel afraid. You feel unsure. The only place you feel confident, which is such a paradox, is with the abuser. Because they teach you how to think and what to think. They control you. They control your moods. They control what you think. And you don't even know it. And it can happen to adults too. Adults can just recover from it. My ex emasculated me in a way that if you asked me that before I met her, I would have said that was effing impossible. But yet it occurred. The good news is even though you're a codependent, which was what I became from my narcissistic mother, you can transcend this and recreate and rebuild yourself. Unfortunately, for a lot of children, the process is far more formidable if you've become a narcissist through this. In fact, most say it's impossible to transcend, and I concur. But if that isn't evil, what I just explained, and their number one process and goal is to emotionally destroy you, if that is not evil, I don't know what is. And here's what else makes it seem more evil than psychologically impaired or dysfunctional or a disorder, is that they all have an innate ability to do it. On every continent, both genders, gay, straight, tall, short, black, white, brown, you name it. The language doesn't matter. The continent doesn't matter. The culture doesn't matter. They all have this innate skill set. Now you think about that for a second. And tell me that that isn't suspect to something out of our human dimension that we don't understand. Now ponder this and think about people who do that to their own family, to their spouse, to their children, to their brothers, to their sisters, to their mother, to their father. Ponder that for a second. This is such an evil trait. And it's a trait that we must understand. As I said in the beginning, what you're aware of, you're in control of. What you're unaware of is in control of you. If you are self-isolating yourself, that's normal process. after and during narcissistic abuse. But what you want to do is to start to peel back the layers and understand that is not healthy, and it is not normal or conducive with the human being that you're designed to be. And how do they do this? They pepper in every day, incrementally. They don't validate your emotions. They do this through different looks. They do this through the silent treatment, through ghosting you, through not returning emails or text messages or phone calls. They try to pepper these things in slowly to F with your mind. This is why boundaries are so important. If you don't have proper boundaries, these people can seep into your life in your head. Now, it doesn't mean that if someone breaks your boundaries that they're a evil narcissist. You don't want to go crazy over this, but you watch people and study their behaviors, and they will show you who they are. Trust me. There's a plethora of tools that are narcissist traps, and they won't even know that you know unless you tell them. But there are a ton of them, and you can lay them out there as well as they lay their shit out to you to discover who they are. But I don't do those type of step-by-step strategies online. But nonetheless, they do this covertly. It's insidious, and it's through conversation. It's through gaslighting and manipulation. The ultimate goal is to take you away from your identity and your emotions. They control the narrative in conversation, in the emotions of the room. That is the ultimate goal. What it really is, you guys, it's a form of censorship. This is why so much of the far left cancel culture emulates narcissism to a degree that it's shocking, and most people are completely oblivious to it. But what it is, it's really censorship. You cannot feel or say anything that I don't want you to. And if you do, you're punished for it. You're ghosted for it. You get a dirty look for it. I don't take you to your event. I do something. Now remember, they studied you and they know what your triggers are, and they know what your likes and dislikes are. So I punish you when you don't adhere to my narrative, when you don't feel what I want you to feel, when you're happy. If I want you to be sad, I'm going to punish you when you're happy. If I want you to be weak, I'm going to punish you when you succeed and when you're confident. And I'm going to do it covertly. It's surgical. And constantly break your boundaries. And what they're doing all the while is robbing you from being fully alive, a full functioning, sentient human being. And it works, and it is devastating. This is what most of us are recovering from. Because the results of this is that your emotional medium is blocked or even destroyed. It's no longer viable or functioning at a level that it should be. And when this happens, you guys, you start to lose yourself, and you feel less and less as the person you once were. And if you're young, you just completely lose your identity, and you're forever uncomfortable in your own skin, and or you become a codependent or a narcissist. Their whole strategy is to murder your identity so they can control you and use you as a puppet for them to live through you and to feel through you. It is sick, demented, and it works, and it's what all of us are recovering from. I believe it's really that emotional desolation is really an assault on your inner peace and happiness. Because when you don't have a self-identity, You no longer have a choice in what you think or how you feel. And that destroys you. The reason that we feel so weak, so tired, and so anxietable, and so socially awkward is because we are not connected to what I call the I. The I in the me. I forgot what episode that's in and the name of that episode. I think it's Who's in the Mirror. I'll put it at the end of the video. And you'll see what they're trying to destroy inside of us so we become like them and they can emulate and pretend that they are us. Again, if this isn't evil, I don't know what evil is. So they do little things to try to erode your identity. That's what the crazy making is. Because if I doubt myself, then I become weak and vulnerable, and they become in control. They take over. We all have gone through this. And we all have self-isolated if you've really been abused by one of these monsters. But you guys, your story matters. Please add to this conversation in the comment box. How has this happened to you? And don't hold back. The truth sets us free and it helps other people. So when you hear this, if it strikes a nerve and if it opens up a corridor of thought and you identify with this, share why you identify with this. What happened to you? This illuminates the path. We all, as sentient human beings, have to become stronger and healthier so these people don't dominate us and or the world. All right, you guys? So if you're self-isolating yourself, it was by design from the enemy. The enemy of happiness, peace, the enemy of your self-identity. So one of the ways that you can stop self-isolating yourself is just like you have to do something you've never done before, is start to get back out in the world and get a good coach that's been through this stuff and help them help you remove the layers and become fully alive again. Does that make sense, you guys? It's always a pleasure when you come here. I deeply appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Until then, be well.